time now?
Is it a hopeful time now? We know that better has to come, right? But we just don't know how bad it's going to get before we get there.
What do rainbows mean to you?
Rainbows mean so much, right? The beauty that comes after rain, that there's light somewhere that creates beauty.
Do you know the song Over the Rainbow?
Like somewhere over the rainbow? That? Yes.
Do you know who wrote the lyrics?
No, I don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. E.Y. Yip Harburg.
You say, how many people have seen The Wizard of Oz? Every hand goes up. Then you say, how many people know who wrote the songs? Not one hand goes up.
There are certain popular songs that go undated. The music is universal and the words even more so. The songs are so memorable, they've overshadowed the man who wrote them.
Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me.
Yip told a story, and he never told it again, but I think it was true, that he was on a large lawn in Beverly Hills, and they have the sprinkle system, right? You know? And he was sitting there, you know, thinking, and all of a sudden, the guy turned the sprinklers on. And Yip said he started running. As he was running, he saw the rainbow in each of these little clusters. So by the time he got to the end and, you know, it got dry, boom. He said, it's got to have something to do with rainbows.
Howdy do, fellas. This is Bob. This is Bob, Command Performance Hope. Here's one of your all-time sweethearts, Judy Garland.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby.
Over the Rainbow is, in a way, an allegory or parable for what's going to be the other end of the Depression, when, you know, we're going to go from black and white scenes of desolation in the Midwest to a glorious Technicolor future. And it's a very American kind of vision.
Yip believed in the goal of constant improvability and progress. That was what was over the rainbow. Not something mysterious, but real life improvements for real people.
We worked for, in our songs, a sort of a better world, a rainbow world. Now, my generation, unfortunately, never succeeded in creating that rainbow world, so we can't hand it down to you. But we could hand down our songs.
Yip was born 1896 in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. He was extremely poor.
Yip's family fled Russia when the Cossacks began to raid the Jewish ghettos.
Yip saw the marks that the Cossacks had left on his mother.
His parents both worked in sweatshops. That world that Yip came up in was brutal. All right, there it is, I see it. That big building is where he used to live, in one of these kind of things, see? These tenement houses, without electricity, without heat, without hot water, and you had to walk up. This is where you played baseball. In grateful recognition of gifts to save the park in Tompkins Square. And the second one's Yip Harburg, lyricist.
Anybody pursuing the art of lyric writing has a responsibility to his fellow man.
The chill of poverty, he said, never left my bones.
It was 1932, one of the worst years of the Depression. And Yip had been asked to work on a musical called Americana with Jay Gorney.
They were walking through Central Park, and this guy who's fairly well dressed comes over, says, "Brother, can you spare a dime?" And Yip said, that's it.
Once I built a railroad, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime?
Once in khaki suits, gee, we looked swell.
The minute the song came out, it was just like wildfire.
It was the song that became known as the anthem of the Great Depression.
It also marked his entrance into the songwriting community. He had 3 shows going on Broadway: Americana, Paper Moon, and April in Paris, which swept the world. So here, in the space of 3 months, 3 shows, he did 3 masterpieces.
In 1947, Congress called the first hearings into subversion in the entertainment industry.
Are you a member of the Communist Party? Or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
It's unfortunate and tragic that I have to teach this committee the basic principles of Americanism.
That's not the question.
They had unleashed Joe McCarthy, and they were hungry.
Yip was brought into the studio and fired, and then he was blacklisted for about 10 years.
Were they actually going through your lyrics with a fine-tooth comb looking for lines that might be subversive, that might show Yip Harburg's true political colors?
Yes. This was the darkest moment in the history of this beautiful country.
The whole community of artists that he was a part of was torn asunder.
Some people committed suicide. Other people left the country.
But Yip, he kept writing. That was his life.
Trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney.